So tonight I'm shooting in my kitchen because I just watched What the Health on Netflix and I felt like it was more appropriate to record the video in my kitchen rather than where I usually do. So one thing I've been doing this year is instead of taking notes on my phone, I've been taking them in notebooks. So whether that is in meetings or when I watch documentaries or the books I've been reading, I've been taking notes. So I have my notebook here. And I took some notes on What the Health. So these are the notes. Okay, so my cousin's the one who told me that I need to watch this and it made him become plant-based. And that it's hard, but he's trying to do it. And I used to like really love McDonald's, and I still love McDonald's. And I watched Super Size Me back when that came out, but that didn't really do anything for me, so I wasn't sure of What the Health would. And I did a poll on Instagram and Twitter, and everyone was saying about how this documentary made them want to change their eating habits and lifestyle. Here's my review on What the Health. So when it first started, it got me when he was talking about the bacon. So he was talking about how bacon and sausage causes cancer and how bacon is equivalent to cigarettes. I love bacon and I'm not a smoker. I tried to smoke a cigarette like back in high school. I don't know when it was. I hated it. It hurt my throat. It hurt my chest. I didn't understand how people liked it. Never liked cigarettes, and I took pride in that because I'm like, oh, okay, well, at least I'm not that unhealthy because I don't smoke cigarettes, because I had a bad habit of eating fast food and bad food, and I still kind of have that. So I thought not smoking cigarettes kind of balanced that out until this documentary, What the Health, and it told me that hot dogs, pepperoni, and bacon are all equivalent to cigarettes, and I love all of those things. So now I feel like I have just been smoking my whole life, and not smoking cigarettes really didn't do anything. So I'm sad about that. I also learned that 1 egg is also equivalent to 5 cigarettes per day, and eating regular eggs is like eating a sausage McMuffin at McDonald's. So I'm confused about that because I'm trying to find this balance of, well, first I was trying to just not eat out so much. So I got into a lot of cooking. And then I was trying to become more healthy and get into the gym and start eating things more like eggs and other things. But the fact that they even said eggs is like 5 cigarettes per day, I'm kind of confused because what am I supposed to eat at this point now, and what's actually healthy? And then the one that really threw me off was he talked about salmon. So one, he was first obviously talking about fish, and I love salmon. And they had like this, they were showing it where they were saying bigger fish just eat smaller fish, and these smaller fish have all these different infections and they eat these other things, and you don't know what they're eating, and then what they're eating ends up spreading into the fish that ate them, and then you don't know what you're eating. And then they showed salmon, and salmon and catfish are like the only fish I really like. And then also this Filipino dish called bangos. That sounds funny, but dying bangos. And there's a word that's in between it. I'm a bad Filipino, but those are the only fish that I like. But the fact that they showed salmon first made me sad because I love salmon, and that just freaked me out because I was just thinking about all the different things that the salmon could eat, and what I'm actually eating isn't just salmon. One quote he did say was, something being less toxic doesn't make it healthy, it just makes it less toxic. And I feel like that applies to not just food, and it applies to other things in life, but we'll talk about that in another video. Then they started talking about dioxins and how I believe he was saying it was in dairy and in like milk and cheese, but he was saying, and he is, I don't even know what the guy's name is, but the person who is explaining all the stuff in the documentary is this guy. And he talks about how men have no way to release the dioxins, and the only way that women can release dioxins are when they're pregnant, and it goes into the fetus and with the baby, and also when they're breastfeeding, when they're feeding the baby. And they're like, oh, that's a scary thought. That absolutely is a scary thought, because when you think pregnancy, or like when I did, I thought, oh, just no alcohol, no smoking, and then like obviously eat healthier. But then there was all this stuff where they're talking about how milk and like cheese can even mess that up, and that can go straight to your baby. So that freaked me out, because one day I definitely want kids, and I'm just freaked out about just the different things that I can't not eat when that time comes. He talks about how most people in the world are lactose intolerant, which makes sense of how dairy could actually, or probably is, that bad for you, because he said most of the world is lactose intolerant, and people wouldn't be lactose intolerant if dairy wasn't that bad. So proved a point there. And then as I was going on, I wrote in my notes, are they going to tell me what I can eat? Ends up talking about how milk isn't actually good for strong bones and doesn't actually like give you strong bones. So that messed me up. And then I would say, okay, there's two more things that messed me up outside of that. The casein protein, which I believe again was in milk or the cheese, because I had wrote that above there. So they were saying that the casein protein is so strong that the morphine that comes with it attaches to the part of the brain that heroin attaches to. Obviously, milk and cheese aren't, as dramatic as heroin, but it does attach to that part of the brain. So that's why people always want to eat cheese and dairy, because there's something in there that makes you want to keep coming back. And then the last point was when the guy did research and found out that the American Cancer Society and the American Diabetic Society, there was another one, it was like Susan something, and she's an organization that it was either breast cancer or just cancer. And he found out that companies like McDonald's, Tyson, Yoplait, and all these different brands that contain products that cause cancer have funded these different organizations. So they get into the theory about how the government is trying to get everybody to eat the bad foods for them, even though it's going to cause cancer, and then they make money off of it, and then it's all this stuff. My whole thing is, I'm just confused on what can we actually eat now, because I feel like he listed out every single thing that we eat is pretty much bad for you, and I feel like I can only drink water. I'm not going to lie, I had to stop watching after an hour and 10 minutes because I kind of got checked out, but it was pretty interesting, and I think that it would make me change some of my lifestyle changes. I don't think I can eliminate bacon and the pepperoni and the cheese. I would like to, but I don't know. I've just been on this trying to be healthy tip. I want to try doing a detox juice over the weekend, because people said not to do that when I have things to do. And I don't know. I'd like to be healthier overall. I think I'm gonna watch another documentary that my cousin recommended. Forks over knives, forks something. So I'm going to look it up. But I want to know, did you watch What the Health, and did it make you want to change your eating habits and lifestyle? If the answer is yes, I would love to hear the different tips that you have and what you include in your diet, and what was a fact to you that stood out in this documentary that really, really made you want to make that lifestyle change. And if you haven't seen it, I kind of told you like half of it, or maybe 3/4 of it, but I don't know. I want to learn about new things and be healthy. So if you have any tips, comment below, and thanks for watching.